Lust is one of the most underestimated forces in life. At first glance, it seems harmless, just a feeling, a desire, a spark of attraction. You tell yourself it's normal, natural, and nothing to worry about. And in small doses, maybe it is. But the problem begins when lust becomes your default state of mind, when it no longer serves as a fleeting attraction, but instead grows into a chain that binds your thoughts, your habits, and your choices. Lust doesn't ask for permission. It sneaks into your imagination. It hides inside your cravings. And before you realize it, it begins to consume you. What makes it so dangerous is how subtle it is. Unlike anger or fear, which are obvious and loud, lust is quiet, persuasive, and patient. It whispers that you'll only look once. It convinces you that a little indulgence won't hurt. But little by little, it reshapes the way you think, the way you see people, and even the way you see yourself. And this is where the destruction starts. Because when your mind is filled with lustful thoughts, you stop seeing people as human beings with stories, emotions, and souls. You start seeing them as objects. And when you see people as objects, you lose empathy, you lose depth, and you lose respect. Not just for them, but eventually for yourself. Lust rewires your brain for constant pleasure-seeking. Instead of using your focus and creativity to build your future, you waste mental energy chasing cravings that can never be satisfied. You scroll endlessly, you fantasize, you indulge, and then you regret. But regret never stops the cycle, because lust doesn't care about your promises to yourself. It only wants more. When lust takes over, it doesn't just live in your mind. It begins to invade your habits and your lifestyle. What starts as an innocent indulgence slowly becomes a routine, and what becomes a routine eventually grows into an addiction. You start to notice that you can't go a single day without feeding it. The images, the videos, the fantasies, they become like fuel for a fire that only burns hotter the more you feed it. And soon, you realize that it's no longer you who's in control, but the craving itself. You lose hours of your life to chasing these empty pleasures, hours that could have been invested in learning, creating, or building something meaningful. You tell yourself you'll quit tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes because lust thrives on weakness. It steals your discipline. It robs your ability to delay gratification. It rewires your reward system so that real progress, real love, and real intimacy feel boring compared to the shallow rush of desire. Over time, your relationships start to suffer. You become distant from real connections because your mind is trapped in a fantasy world that no real person can ever compete with. Trust erodes, intimacy becomes hollow, and instead of valuing your partner or potential partner for who they are, you measure them against unrealistic standards that lust has planted in your head. And when reality can't satisfy the fantasy, frustration grows. That frustration leads to shame. Shame leads to secrecy. And secrecy isolates you. Suddenly you find yourself hiding habits, living double lives, pretending everything is fine on the outside while you silently drown on the inside. This is how lust destroys not just your time, but your integrity, because you no longer live aligned with your values. You know what's right, but you can't stop doing what's wrong. And that war between who you want to be and who you've become eats away at your confidence, your peace, and your identity. The deepest destruction of lust shows itself in your future. Every action you repeat shapes the person you are becoming. And when lust is the habit you nurture, you unknowingly design a future filled with emptiness. The constant chase for pleasure blinds you to the greater joys of discipline, love, growth, and purpose. Opportunities pass by because your focus is scattered. Dreams fade because your energy is wasted. Instead of building something lasting, you're stuck in a loop of temporary highs followed by crushing lows. Lust makes you believe you're enjoying life, but in truth, it steals life from you. Your time, your relationships, your self-control, and even your spiritual clarity. A person ruled by lust cannot fully love, because love requires sacrifice, patience, and depth, while lust only knows how to take, consume, and discard. And when your life is built on taking rather than giving, you end up alone, unfulfilled, and disconnected from your higher self. But here is the truth. The chains of lust can be broken. It starts with awareness, with admitting how much power it has over you. Then comes the courage to starve it, to deny its constant demands, and to redirect your energy into growth, discipline, and connection. You are not meant to live enslaved by desire. You are meant to master it, to rise above it, and to use your strength for something greater. Lust destroys your life only if you let it. But the moment you choose to take back control, to rebuild your mind, your habits, and your purpose, that is the moment you begin to live free.